Okay, streaming.
And we are live.
Fantastic. I figure we can switch off doing the intro since you and I both enjoy doing it. Rob always likes going last. Save the best for last. Whoa, what's that? Goodbye. Okay. So this is episode... Oh. Hello and welcome to the Supreme Council of the Master Geeks Lodge. My name is Bill Kelly. I am Hornswoggle the Great, king of ham and finder of lost crap that no one wants to have around the house. And with me on the council, I also have...
Jingo, the king of fools, captain of the Ship of Fools, my Twitch channel, which you are on right now, and I'm ready to do some mayhem. Mr. Cigar Man.
Oh, there it goes.
I am Rob the Blacksmith, and my newest claim to fame. Finished my rapier.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Well done.
Did you do the woodwork on the handle?
Yes, I did. That's actually straight,
very nice
grain hickory.
Oh.
And then it has elk horn in each section, and then this is just hand-shaped steel pommel.
Nice. Well, it's gorgeous. Well done. She's very nice. Not 1 ounce of balsa wood. All right. They use that to build Martian spaceships. It's true. Oh. Episode 60. While I'm stalling. Sorry, guys. Remember, I have to come all the way from Tempe up the 51. I drove like a massive asshole to get here in time. Sorry, Phoenix.
No, you're not.
Not really, no. Some of me is.
You fit in. You fit into the racetrack that is the 51 at this time of the day.
You ain't kidding.
Hey, at least it's not the Death Race 101.
Yes.
That one's... the 101 is fine if you're on the other side. But you're right. It is a Death Race 2000 reenactment in President Frankenstein. Going in the morning, 101 eastbound is a nightmare. In the afternoon, westbound.
I'm talking about the part where I'm at is it north and southbound.
Oh, God. Okay, yeah. In the morning.
It cuts down across Scott's. No, it's always a death race.
Yeah. Always. In the morning.
I don't go on there.
Yep. You know, the scariest thing is that all of that was designed, all of those original freeways were designed in the 1950s, and they were not supposed to be where they are today.
No.
They were going to be considerably closer in.
Yeah.
And we would have, had they followed the original designs, we would have been at the 404 and the 505 and things like that. But they would have had breaks between them of no more than about 6 or 7 miles. It was designed by this huge loop system by the highway engineer for that purpose, knowing he spoke about it for years, for decades. People will move here. And the people in the legislature said, if you build it, people will move here, so we're not going to build it. And he said, people are moving here. We need it.
That is very true. But yeah, it has moved, Mr. Ruckus. It has moved in the time since the 50s. And then again, the desert just keeps going. There was a time when nothing was past Northern. There was a time when Bell Road was pretty much it. Only the super fancy houses were built beyond that. Now they're past Beardsley.
The I-10 used to end out at the Trotter track out in Avon.
Yeah.
It wasn't even the I-10 then.
Yeah.
I like to tell the guys at Wendy's, oh, yeah, well, this building was built in 93. I remember getting a job in 93 over at Walmart. What was there before? Well, we used to ride our bikes in this field when we were little kids because there wasn't a lot of traffic up Tatum. Now Tatum's nuts. It's 3 lanes on either side, but back in 1980, 2 lanes, stop signs, no traffic. There was nobody up here. Well, certain times of day there was traffic, everybody going to work in the morning, everybody coming home, but in between, there's nobody. We had 6 minutes yet. Rob, how about the cigar of today?
Oh, it's an oldie but a goodie. This one is one of my Hiram and Solomon's that has been sitting in the humidor for a little while. This is called the Shriner. And for those out there listening who are not familiar with Hiram and Solomon, it's actually a cigar company that was started by a Masonic brother with the intent of having cigars that had the Masonic theme in them. One of the really neat things about this company is he donates a lot of his profits to Masonic charities around the world. But another thing that he has done is he will partner with different Masonic areas. So you have Grand Lodges in every state. And what he will do is he'll partner with a Grand Lodge, say, in New Jersey. And he will make a run of cigars labeled with the Grand Lodge of New Jersey.
That's nice.
And then he will sell those cigars, and a big portion of the proceeds from those sales goes back to the Grand Lodge to help them out with all of their program. Yeah, so really, really great company, and the brother that runs it is a really great guy. So try and support what we can.
They're right now tonight. Talking about the lodge brings it up, but Chris won't be joining us because his mother is in the hospital, so we're sending healing vibes to her, and not just Cliff from my other podcast, Reverend Fishcrackers, but one of your Masonic brothers was rushed to the ER Sunday morning, I think. Mike Couts, known affectionately as Bovine in the Arizona Renaissance Festival, he was having problems, and they found out that one of his arteries was almost completely blocked, and he was just going to go to the urgent care, but a lot of other Rennies urged him to go to the ER, and it's a good thing, too. He would have died out there and been another, added to the list. So we're pulling for Chris's mom and Cliff and Bovine to pull through. And if you've been out there in the last couple years, he uses a squeaky from a squeaky toy in his mouth to communicate. He has a long nose. He's usually got a net to catch children and fairies. He's usually hanging out by one of the bridge trying to get hired jokingly as a babysitter, because he's not somebody you would hire to babysit, unless you didn't like him. Unless you don't
child
like
catcher.
Kinda, yeah. Now, we go way back. He's pretty much been like... He's the last of a group of characters that were called the Loonies, that were basically like street people out at the Renaissance Festival, that our friend Marissa Dawson, she was Mad Molly, and then another lady was Dirty Daisy. And they were just these gross women that would try to hit on everybody. And Marissa is in the dental field by trade, so she would make herself fake teeth that just come up. So he was in that group where they did a bit in the 90s where the royals were trying to teach the street people etiquette and manners and how to function in society, but every episode turned into a food fight, and it was very funny. So, time goes on, and we're losing more and more and more of the Ren Fair people that were, what I considered superstars and a lot of fun people to play with. And like the Duchess of Diddle is no longer with us. Delise passed away some years ago. And oh my God, she was like one of the funniest women out there. And she would play this stuffy, proper character that talked too much, and she had this voice and everything, and she was just, everyone loved her. She was so much fun to, forgive the term, play with out on the streets, because if you said stuff to her, she not every time had a retort. Unless she was busy or didn't hear you, she would interact with everybody. Every single. It didn't matter if you were first year or you've been there forever, like some of the people that are out there. And that was, here I am. I don't have all their Facebook information and, real names, because you just know them by their street names out there. But yeah.
Yep.
Sorry. Oh, days of the year. Okay, it's National Tortilla Chip Day. 2 thumbs way the fuck up. Tortilla chips, they're the best thing ever. Same thing with flour chips, too. National Trading Card Day. Go, Magic, Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, all the other one.
My wife has gotten into trading K-pop cards.
That's a thing? Neat.
It is.
I don't know.
You buy the albums, they come with cards, and what you get with the album is a random selection, and there's a whole it goes deep.
To quote the comedian Nina Conti when she's throwing her voice to people she grabs out of the audience, I don't fucking know. I believe you, but that's cool that she's in that. But I don't
yeah, I've been kind of pulled into it too, but
that's good though.
It's fun.
World Spa Day. Have a good time. World Bartender Day. They have been functioning as temporary psychologists and therapists all across the world.
And babysitters.
For hundreds of years. Hundreds of years now, since holes in the wall first started appearing in the friendly little people of the woods zeitgeist way back when. And lastly, Twin Peaks Day.
A show I never got to watch.
Not a David Lynch fan. Rob?
No. Twin Peaks was not my forte.
I don't really know anything about it, honestly.
It's a weird...
Other than David Duchovny was in it, and...
Well, what's his name? The guy he always uses that plays Paul Atreides. Kyle MacLachlan. Sorry, almost forgot his name.
Oh, yeah.
He's a great actor.
He is in the new Fallout series.
Excuse me. I heard that. I heard that, not what I just did.
Yeah. He plays one of the... I don't know. It's Fallout, so everyone is an asshole in their own way.
At some point, everybody is a heavy.
Yeah. You
Game
haven't
World.
watched it yet, have you, Bill?
No, but I play Fallout 76 with Ed and behind the scenes, though I wonder if I should start streaming it. I am an
You
avid...
should.
I play Fallout Shelter. I do stream
Stream
76.
that too.
Really? For me, that's a clicking game. I'm like watching Shoe
you'd
on
be
Head
surprised.
or Liberal Hive Mind when I'm watching
Some
it.
people will watch it. There are games that, people stream just for the noise they make as ASMR.
I have been
You know?
trying. I think we should do for the council. We need a rock band set, and I've been trying to get Sir Dave and Clay.
I have my last generation Xbox. I have Rock Band for that.
Awesome. Let's do it. Let's stream it. We got to get the whole set because that was fun during Paul's parties. Because he got rock band. He wasn't really into it, but Kathy was into it, so he got everything. Remember the drums, the bass, the guitar, the microphone,
we don't have
keyboard.
the drums, but you want to do Rock Band. My wife is better at Rock Band than you are.
I believe she is. Most people are better at video games than I am. I don't have time to play them. I want to. Video games to me are an addiction, and I have to use them in sparingly.
They are.
Because
they are.
I
will not deny that.
I have so many people to apologize in my preteen years when Atari came out because didn't have it and was addicted to it, and yeah, I was a jerk. Anyway, so I try to, but yeah, I normally will be watching like Liberal Hive Mind or Jennings Motorsports or one of the. I watch like videos while I'm playing Fallout Shelter, because to me that's just a clicking game. That's not like a real game.
It is. It's an idle game.
Yeah, because it's like click, click,
I
click,
have
click.
a few of those.
Or I'll watch history, or I watch the History Guy, or there's like probably 40 streamers that I watch on a regular basis that are across the board. Some of them are history, some of them are how-to, some of them are... And even so, I'm constantly doing research for this podcast because we can't just talk about that was Guy's constant complaint. We can't just talk about the same thing all the time because then we're just a broken record. So,
Yes.
but I'm sorry, I've been stuck on the scale of evil and putting everybody into alignment because was fun. It took up 3 hours and it only felt like 20 minutes. Oh,
Yes,
sorry,
it
Stella.
did.
The human mind loves to quantify things.
It really
It's
does.
something that's innate in us. We love to be able to quantify things. We cannot handle something that we cannot put a label to. That's why the word infinity was created. The number infinity was created to quantify the unquantifiable. That's why certain groups, some religions will call something. That's why the word ineffable came up in the Kabbalah and in the Jewish religion, because the ineffable. Well, what is that? Well, it's something you can't talk about.
Yeah.
Okay, so you gave it you can't describe it, you can't name it, but here's its name. It's the ineffable. Okay. Moving on.
Do we want to do ancient religions today? This is episode 60. I'm very proud of this. We've been babbling for 60 episodes. Sometimes we have a
You
topic.
want to talk mythologies?
Isn't that the same thing?
Yep, that's pretty much.
Well, the Kabbalah believes, the Golden Dawn believes that Moses got 100 commandments, but we weren't ready for that, so he destroyed 90 of them, and they basically map out how the Golden Dawn and the Tree of Life work, but it was dumbed down for the mass public in one of my favorite movies, Defending Your Life, in 1993, with Albert Brooks and Meryl Streep and Rip Torn and Buck Henry, and that movie has disappeared from circulation because Albert Brooks is a genius stand-up comedian and writer, but my children and on only know him screaming Nemo for 2 hours because he plays Marlin in Finding Nemo. Where's my son? Nemo! So it's fantastic that he's going to be carried on, because other than that, oh my God, he's not only the best Simpsons character ever created as Hank Scorpio, he's also a world villain, because it's not James Bond, it's James Bunt, probably because they would have got their asses sued off. But he ends up killing a 00 in that episode of the cartoon. Mr. Scorpio, or Mr. Scorpion, it's Mr. Scorpio, not Mr. Scorpion, but that's fine. My family wants to leave. Good, let them go. You could stay here with me. We'll go bowling. No, I want to leave with my family. Well, Homer, I'm sad to hear that, but I understand. If you could kill a bunch of people out on your way out, that would really help me out a bunch. I'd appreciate that. Who are all these guys? Oh, they're from the government. Which one? I'm not sure. Oh, the damn government. Simpsons is genius. Futurama is demigod level comedy. If you're all done being stupid, I have a few more.
Give me a few minutes.
There's a limit?
There's a limit. I've been doing this out at fair. Some of the dice bags that they sell, you get a little the $75 set, they throw in a little dice carrier bag that's all soft on the inside and fake leather on the out. It's teeny tiny. It only holds one set of dice. But if you buy the other, a $60 set, a $50 set, or a $40 set, they're all individually wrapped in these small, tiny, Ziploc bags. So I'll come out of the back with the people's dice. And I'm like, well, here you go. Here's your new set. And we threw in these tiny cocaine bags for free. And that's what I get every time. There's something about, because I'm like, I was telling Clay this, the mindset, all actors use a mindset when they're trying to purvey a character. And I literally mentally am becoming Lane's mom from Better Off Dead. He likes raisins. Because there's something so darkly innocent about how evil she is by trying to be super nice and super motherly, even though she's terrible about being. She's a terrible mom. She's totally emotionally disconnected, and she can't cook for shit. Yet she's trying to raise these kids. She's giving them frozen dinners for Christmas gifts.
Now, there's a subject we could go off on.
Sure.
Worst movie moms.
Oh, God, her. What's her name? I love the actress, too. She's, like, fucking perfect. I'm very excited about her because
Not
she's
necessarily
such a dark... Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
She is... Better Off Dead is one of the most amazing dark comedies ever, and the fact that she's trying to be like, she's like Luann in King of the Hill, because she's trying to be this character of brightness and purity and helping, and that, but she just comes off as so Jenny Meyer. Kim Darby is the actress, and she's been in a bunch of stuff. She's hot too. Not the Lane Meyer mom fantasy, but seeing her in other stuff was like, oh, her. Evil Within, Perception, Cold Ones, You're Going to Hell, For the People, X-Files, Newsbreak, Becker. She's on Becker. Becker was a good show. Murder, She Wrote, Crazy Like a Fox, Teen Wolf 2, This Is the Life, Hotel. She's been in a bunch of Riptide, 84 things, TV and movies. But that's kind of the motivation I use. And all this, I've been saying that for like, how many weeks have we been open now? And everybody either laughs out loud or chortles or snorts or goes, Now, I don't do cocaine, and I say that. I don't do cocaine. I'm more of a coffee and weed guy. And then Frenchie laughs every time I say that, and he's never corrected me, which means, well, there's your blank check. I'm going to say that 100 times because people keep laughing. And he said, you said that the other day, and it was late in the day, and you'd already said it like 40 times. And all of a sudden, this guy leans into me and goes, he's giving away all your cocaine bags. And the guy was all serious, and Frenchie goes, well, yeah, but they're empty. And he's all, oh, well, yeah, I guess so. Also, Ed came out to... with his friend Margot, and he was showing her the Renaissance Festival, and they were all dressed up, and they came in, and I said hi, and I was talking to, I have never met her, I don't think I've ever met her before, because he introduced us, but I've met a lot of his friends, so I don't remember meeting her before, so I'm pretty sure that was the first interaction. But I've also got like a good 15 people in the shop, so I'm still trying to, and this and that. So I just started doing all my bits. And just before they leave, Margot's like, you're funnier than the show we just saw. Oh, no. Oh, well, thank you. Oh, my God, thank you. But no. I mean, ouch.
That's pretty harsh.
For that guy,
but,
yeah.
Sometimes people...
Yeah, bad days.
Not everything clicks with everybody.
Just like at work, you can have a bad day at work. You can have a bad day on the stage, too, where just everybody's timing is off. Nobody's listening to each other, But there are so many dark figures in Better Off Dead that it's like a stacked dark comedy. It's up there with Death to Smoochie and most of Mel Brooks' movies, where they're just dark comedies, where all of the other characters are equally as dark as Lane's family, and Lane's family sucks. It would suck to be Lane Meyer. His father is a lawyer who's emotionally detached from him, and he's really trying to connect with his son, but like most... Instead of just realizing that your kid is half of you and half of your spouse, you think that it's now an alien and there must be this magical code and this special way of talking and interacting to... No, dude, it's just you. Well, what do you like? Your kid, chances are 70-80% also likes that shit or tolerates it to a level of commonality. The stuff you hate, chances are they probably hate that. Now, whatever you are on a hill to die for, chances are your kid's going to sign up for that just because they're young, and then eventually they're either going to come back to the side you were on, or they're going to stay vehemently opposed. That's why modern day politics sucks, and well, all through politics sucks, is because if you have parents that are super political and politics, you're basically creating the opposite in your children. And I watched that happen in my own family. I'm guilty of it as well. And
Yep.
And that's not right or wrong. That's just human nature. I mean, I kind of, like I've said in the past, and I'll say it a million times, I'm of Washington. There shouldn't be political parties. They tear at the very fabric of the nation, was his quote. I don't know how he sounded. No one does, because it was a long time ago.
Those are the lost recordings.
But I really like Brian Dennehy. Reading for him, I have this in my head that Brian Dennehy is probably close to what Washington sounded like. Because before the American Revolution, he's not really positively written down in history. He's thought of as not really smart, kind of a boob, kind of dim-witted. But really, he's secretly gauging the room. He doesn't really care about his own opinion until he hears everyone else's. And there's a lot of wisdom in that. To know that you're not the smartest man in the room. To know that you don't know everything. To know that many points of view are better than one point of view. It's really the difference between one person writing a show and 10 people writing a show. It's going to be better with the 10 people because you have more input and you have more
a varied perspective.
Thank you. It's the difference between all of Monty Python and then when John Cleese leaves Monty Python and Terry Jones is left to write on his own. This isn't like, oh, John Cleese was such a visit. It was their writer.
Chemistry.
Well, their chemistry too, because they were best friends. But as writers, they had animosity. Terry had one way of comedy, and John had another. And Eric and Michael and Graham just kind of like buffed everything out, or they came with their own ideas because there was no point in getting in between Terry and John. Because it's just, this is the writing process. Eventually they're going to figure it out. And they did. How many seasons do we have? I'll tell you how many seasons we have. And this isn't the movies. This is just the show. Look at all these fucking DVDs.
Yep.
Even originally, for more useless trivia, and because I read too much, the show wasn't even originally called Monty Python. It was called It's. And the BBC didn't like that. No, it has to have a name. All right, it's Monty Python's Flying Circus. Good!
That's funny.
I thought so. Thank you.
No,
She's talking to somebody else.
Oh, yes. No, she's in the background.
Perfect.
Maybe I should switch back to push to talk because you're going to hear her in the background.
I want...
Well, I was laughing at what he was saying.
Well, she was laughing at you.
Oh!
So we'll leave it.
I
So,
didn't know that. That was cool.
Thank you. Was
I was like,
unexpected
now
gain.
she should know better. We don't encourage Bill.
You got to shut him down real quick, or he'll go off like a wildfire. Thanks.
Somewhere around here, I have that book set that was Monty Python, All the Words, which was basically all the scripts. I loved that.
It's too far away for this, and that it's not worthy of detaching and coming back. But I have the first. It says 200 in the first 20 years of Python, where they talk about how they met,
yes.
and where they were all obsessed.
regarding Monty Python, I live in Tempe, and downtown Tempe is a college campus, and there's one pedestrian walkway where the walk signs for the pedestrian walkway have a silhouette of John Cleese doing the Ministry of Silly Walks walk.
That's awesome. Oh my God. I'm glad it survives. Well,
I saw that.
Oh, go ahead.
Wasn't there somewhere in England? Somebody had set up a crossing sign that when it flashed, it was the Ministry of Silly Walks. It was either in England or somewhere up in Europe, Northern Europe. And There was a video of it on YouTube, of course, showing it. When the sign went off, people would do silly walks to go across the street.
That's awesome. I know from watching a documentary, and Michael Palin did his own documentary of a different documentary, and it was on the same documentary. The castle that they used where the Frenchman and Arthur interact gives you coconuts halves so that you can bang them as you go up and down the hallways that they used for many scenes in the movies. And then you have to give them back before you leave. And the castle's like, before Monty Python, we barely had an attendance. History students, anthropologists, war fanatics. Since Monty Python, look, there's like 12 people walking around.
Coconut aficionados.
Yeah, there's the goddamn castle. I'm not mocking you. I'm one of you. Let that be known. So let it be received.
If it was close by, we would be spending weekends there. We would be doing remotes from there. So we'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
We would bring our own coconuts.
Exactly.
He's not wrong.
And we would be hosting a theater of the mind and an education series. This is a Polynesian coconut. Now I'm going to show you. This is a coconut.
We will now discuss.
Listen to the sound difference.
Cosplaying different characters from the movie.
Even better. We will now discuss the chainmail of the late 900 AD period. Go, Rob. You see, the link is a 5-link thing, and each link is linked to 5 more links, and
Right now.
And you beat it.
And now for something completely different.
Ignorance is bliss until logic becomes depression. I really was. I love that. That's my new quote for the month. You're welcome. I was really under the impression that the Philosopher's Song was a real song that was like a college tradition, maybe at Oxford or, No! Eric Idle wrote that when he was looking at a stack of philosophy books in his den. Immanuel Kant was a real pissy. Are you fucking serious? Why am I so dumb? How can I be so dumb? I have a genius father. The stupid weapon. Oh, yeah. Thank you for coming with me. Like and subscribe, folks.
That's right. Buckle in.
Buckle in.
Make sure you have your chest straps on, too.
I have a theory. You don't want to hear it. Sorry, go, Jingo. I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm sorry, man.
I don't even know where I was going with that.
I passed my certification at the passport job. The job I thought I was... Also a raise, too. I thought I was going to get fired. Now they want to hold on to me. So I was thinking, and I'm like, I really hope I did a good job. But on the other hand, there's no fucking way I passed that because I mess up all the time and give out the wrong information. Thank God. And I was kissing their asses today after a meeting. Thank God I have all of you guys because I wouldn't have made it. You are constantly all messaging me and correcting me and telling me, no. Don't tell him. I'm terribly sorry. Because they're like, you're so good on the phone. Yeah, but I've been doing this since 92 and I have the radio announcer voice. They automatically listen to me. It's not. My biggest fear is misinformation. My biggest fear is putting you on hold forever while I go, not that one, not that one, not that one, which one? And meanwhile, I have, I don't want to give that kind of customer service. Meanwhile, all these younger people, and Mary, the lady that was there last year, they know all this stuff. I'm so sleep deprived. Computer says no. I love Little Britain. Sorry.
Kind of makes you long for the days of, remember the old Rolodex style flip scripts?
Yeah.
You'd be on the phone and they said a keyword. Oh. Number 27. Okay, this is what
I
you
have
need
to
to know.
mention that this and go to this address. And it's one of those jobs where it's easy, but list of things that Bill has had constructive criticism, because I'm not really in trouble. I just failed the first certification because on 3 calls you have to get an 80, and I got like an 89, an 86, and like an 87, and the other 2 calls I got like a 51 and this other one that was like a 40 something, and they're like, really good. No. And it's like, all right, let me explain something to you. I've been doing this since 1992. Choice Hotels International, not a sponsor. Clarion, Quality, Comfort, Sleep, Roadway, Econo Lodge, and Friendship. And that was back before the ECU took over, when the euro was just kind of starting. So you had to know how to use the conversion rate for Dutch money to American money, or francs to Deutschmarks, or, they did it for you, but you still had to be, you had to have a basic math/economics, If you were a cashier, you're way ahead. Okay. One of those kind of scenarios. So, customer service and making people laugh, as we all know, comedy is the skeleton key to society, but I don't know your proprietary software, and you have no script. Both gratifying and terrifying, all in the same fying. That's a lot of fying to do around in one phone call, because you don't know. I mean, I don't want to be, this the government. I don't want to be pissing. I don't know nothing about birth of no babies, Miss Scarlett. I don't want to be pissing people off. So it's getting a lot easier and a lot better, but there's still not the satisfaction, as low pay and as menial as it is. There's a lot of satisfaction in Wendy's. When I leave there, that place is fucking clean, and everything's put away and where it should be, and all the trash is taken out, and I actually care at night or in the morning about paying it forward. I'm a big pay it forward kind of guy. You should pay it forward, and not just the karma sense, but you have to pay it forward because no good deed goes unpunished, and as you're running around doing good deeds, it's going to boomerang back, no matter how good a person you are. I had car trouble today. It was a fuse. It took a while to figure that out, but it was a fuse. And my odometer's not working for a while now. That's not good. Especially because
no es bueno.
I needed to do emissions in November. Anyway, that's not important right now. What's important right now is episode 60. Like and subscribe. So, yes.
It's not important. What's important is that we fly this aircraft.
That's not important right now. What's the line? Oh, God, I forgot the line in the movie because it's been... Today was a lot of meetings, so when you're not using your brain is like, bah! And even though I got 5 hours of sleep, my brain is still, Sorry, ladies and
I
gentlemen.
love the meetings where the 3-year-old sit in the back of my mind and bang on its pot with a little wooden spoon and go, hey, I hate you all.
And just yell out random impulses. Bang, 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 bang. A triangle. Elephant. Right. Those two things.
That's the nice thing about Zoom and mute.
Yeah, nothing to do with one another. I saw an answer to the boss said you can have a meeting from anywhere, and everybody is in their own office at home, and one dude is fly fishing in the blizzard, and like the snow is blowing sideways, and he's like, and all the boss is pretend this is normal, this isn't happening, and all of his coworkers are like, I mean, they're all like turning red and trying not to guffaw. Sorry, Rob, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go.
No.
Oh, I thought you were gonna.
No, I was just sitting up.
Yeah.
I'm old. I have a tendency to be like a puddle. I tend to settle into my chair, and then I have to scoop myself back up every once in a while.
You were using your receptive telepathy through the internet to pick up my surface thoughts. I had the glorious opportunity at the end of Sunday night when I was out there trying to sell dollar pirate flags. There was a World War II veteran that told his family he was going to walk out of the Ren-A-Fair, not be pushed out by a wheelchair. And I had probably a 7-minute conversation with him. World War II. What, 109, I think he was, 102?
Wow.
And he talk like this. So I didn't really get all of his answers, but I'm just glad you're here. I'm proud and honored to be here. Well, hey man, so many of us have lost so many others, and you're still going. Yeah, and I'm like, where's his wheelchair? All of a sudden, the non-emergency medical transportation and security guard in me took over. Followed by my mother and grandmother's voices. Where is this man's wheelchair right now? He didn't want it. He sent it away. We know. Okay. Pirate flags, $1. $1 pirate flags. So you can buy a souvenir.
Do his thing. If he can walk, power to him.
Yep. I have a brother in Lodge who was at Guadalcanal, and he's 105 same age as my Lodge. And when I came through my degrees, he was the one that gave the lectures, 2 of my degree. And this is the guy who's been doing it. He's been a Mason for 70 years.
900 years. Yeah.
Yeah. And so he's the kind of guy that we could call up and say, hey, we have a degree. Would you like to give the lecture? Yeah, give me a couple of days to practice. And he'll stand there. Oh, and you're like, yep, I have all the respect in the world for him and all of his buddies because,
Well, I used to judge it as my grandfather, and my father and stuff, but this guy saw the end of World War II, the building of the Berlin Wall, the fall of the Berlin Wall, the fall of Russia, the beginning of the internet, all the while still being in the very beginning of the year with the leftover. 1897 was a economic and financial crisis that we really don't talk about because we're way closer to 1930. And we've had other financial crises since then because, well, I'm a giant history geek and I'm not going to go into that right now because I don't have... Anyway, but that kind of depression mentality makes for amazingly resilient human beings because they know what it is to go without. They know what it is to go. And it's not a go without where, oh, we can't afford this. It's a go without of, this isn't available. Kind of like what we were dealing with COVID and all the other. I mean, that's just a slice, really. Imagine going through that for a decade. Or even England when... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, I loved sitting there with my grandfather, my father, with my uncles. I mean, my grandfather raised his family through the Depression and the World Wars. My father grew up in the Depression and World War II. And my uncles and all of that. And these were the guys that taught me to that same point, oh, well, we don't have the part to fix the car, but I have this stuff over here, and I understand how to make that part fit that vehicle to get that vehicle back on the road so we can continue doing what we do.
Yes.
So, the learning. Grandpa used to love to say things like, well, people would say, well, you can't use that on that vehicle. It wasn't built for that vehicle. And he would say, well, I have a welder and a torch. I have a drill. I can make anything fit. Get out of the way.
I'm a professor. I can wire everything into anything.
Science.
Excuse me. Sorry. Had one of those Jack Black's, the $2 meat sticks at Circle K for dinner. It's coming back to haunt me. So, can Merlin defeat Gandalf in a wizard's duel?
Ooh.
Can Dumbledore defeat Tim? We're going to do my shirt right now. There you go. I love this shirt. I can't remember if Beth gave it to me or Hannah gave it to me or Christine gave it to me. One of the three. All of the three gave it to me.
I would say that's tough because Merlin ties into the whole Celtic mythology,
He's really more of
the
a druid.
pre-Christian, yeah.
A better
And
fight.
so, but Gandalf is starry. He is, he is basically a lesser deity.
A solar.
He's an angel. He's an angel of Iluvatar, is what he is.
I am the secret guardian of the flame of Iluvatar.
We don't see him display a lot of magic because I don't think he was a wizard in the traditional sense. I just think wizard is the name that men called him because he could do some magic stuff. But if you read the books, Gandalf spent a lot more time fighting with a sword in his hand than he did casting spells. And he was good with it too.
I'm going to quote Gabe, one of our many viewers, and hopefully one day a fantastic artist, computer genius. His joy was the fact, the way they wrote Gandalf, how he's kind of a doddering old man by the time the Fellowship of the Ring comes, until combat arrives. Then suddenly that facade is thrown away, and he's like a fucking whirling dervish of death and slicing. And
you remember,
like he's in the Moria.
When they found Orcrist and Glamdring,
the foe cleaver,
the Barrow Mound, he kept Orcrist and fought with it.
Yeah. From then on, in The Hobbit and all of Fellowship of the Rings and all the.
And I've read and heard a lot of pundits speak about the fact that Gandalf, when Gandalf was Gandalf the Grey, was very hesitant to use the magic that all of this that he had been given from Iluvatar, all of that he knew. When he became the White, he had a better understanding of his abilities and his capacity to control the magic that he was worried about when he was the Grey. He was fearful of using the magic for the potential of being pulled into the darkness that
I think
could
the
be
reason he was hesitant to use the magic is because it was basically divine magic. Every time he did use it, he basically was a thumbtack on a map for Sauron to know where he was at and what he was doing.
Kind of like similarly in the Belgariad and the Malorian, where Belgarath and Polgara tell Belgarian, careful, because every time you do something, it creates a bell, and that sound goes out, and the bad guys pick up on it, and they come looking for you, because they're supposed to be the only ones that are doing it. Yeah.
Yes.
They're the ones that are only ones that are doing it, and now we'll hunt you down and get you.
And I would say that makes Merlin and Gandalf at an even level, because the two of them understood their skills. They understood their knowledge, but they were also very cognizant of how to keep certain aspects hidden.
Right.
I'm going to hold this in reserve. I'm not going to give you the understanding or the idea that I am more powerful than I am. In fact, I'm going to let you believe that I am less powerful than I am, because that protects myself, those that I am with, and it gives me that edge in the event that I need to draw from that bag. I can do so, and potentially I can use that as an opportunity or an opening to at least prevent something worse from happening and then extract myself from the event, because neither one of them was big on the sustained battle that didn't have to be. If I don't have to be here, I'm going to extract myself.
They didn't.
That's the point.
I still think I give the edge to Gandalf on the fact that he is effectively immortal, and it would take another immortal level being to destroy him, and Merlin is not that.
Right. He's attuned.
Merlin is mortal. Merlin can be killed. Gandalf cannot.
Well,
or at least not by a mortal, I don't think.
He has different rules for his existence. I look at it this way. Tim versus Gandalf. Gandalf's going to win. They're equally matched. They're both they specialize in pyrotechnics, fireballs, fire, light, things like that. But from what we've seen in Monty Python's The Holy Grail, and what we've seen from The Hobbit and all the other movies, Gandalf isn't just a pyrotechnic wizard. He can do sound effects. He's tuned into nature, as you guys just pointed out. He's far more a druid than your traditional wizard, say like Dumbledore or Elminster, but also he's a solar. He's almost a demigod, and he really comes into a major solar role when he comes back as the White.
Yeah.
So that's unfair to put up against Tim. There are those who call me Tim. What apparently there was supposed to be, he had this amazing name, and John Cleese couldn't remember it. He just said Tim, and they were like, cut! That's perfect. Oh, thank you. In his proper, polite way, because John Cleese rocks. So, also, Tim versus Merlin, I don't know. I think Merlin's going to win, because a lot of these fights also come down to the terrain. Like, Merlin is severely undermatched in a city if he's more druidical, where that doesn't really bother. There's a major cat fight. I heard some fantastic hissing going on in the other room. Tim is never put in a city sense, so you can't really judge him. Gandalf thrives. Merlin, they don't really have cities way back in the time of his existence. And Dumbledore, well, Hogwarts. But Dumbledore, well, we'll get to him in a second. So Merlin and Gandalf, I would probably have to go with Gandalf as well, due to the fact that he is a being of a higher plane of existence, wrapped in a flesh suit. I mean, he's not really a human, and he's Istari. They're, like you said, Radagast and Saruman, and you can't just stab them. I mean, it's going to hurt them. They damage, but you're not going to kill them unless you're a Balrog or Saruman, or the weapon is, like the ring could kill Gandalf.
Yeah, yes. The
artifacts
could hurt him.
Could hurt him real bad, but Gandalf doesn't even really sleep. Even when Pippin gets the Palantir, and I know there's a lot more in the book. Sorry, Fellowship of the Rings is a hard slog, and with AD&D, where's my mind? Sorry we didn't play this Saturday. I've been telling thousands of people out at Ren Fair that all about our group, that there's about 14 of us now, or 15, aren't there? And I know there's more that Ron desperately wants to join. He just hasn't had time, working and being a scout.
Jim is still begging to join.
Jim's just going to have to join by Discord, and he'll just have to be a laptop at the table, since
he won't Discord. But, right now, unless Chris finds another ride, and I'm not going to cut Chris out because I offered the ride, I'm not going to suddenly tell him I can't give you a ride anymore. I've told Jim that he's welcome at the table, but he has to find his own way there.
I like Jim. I've known Jim longer than Chris, but consistently, and that's not fair either, because they're both disabled, but in different ways. Because Jim has, what year did he get shot in the back, and he's had a bullet wound in his spine that makes him walk?
As long as I've known him.
As long as I've known him, early 90s. I think the party happened in the mid-80s.
No, it happened in the early 80s because I knew him from high school. Well, he was older than me. He was out of high school at the time, but I was in high school when I met him.
Yeah. Oh, that's the bitch of being me. I'm like 6. You're all older than me, and even Tim, because even Tim's like a year, 3. Okay. Because Paul and I are 6 years. He's 6 years older than me. And at first for him, well, I mean, he was, 23, and I was like 19, and I decided we were going to be friends, best friends, and I wouldn't take no for an answer. He's like, I was like almost scared of you on a psychological level at first when we, Oi, Kelly, you were fucking out. Yeah. I'm like, no, I'm just Anglophile, and I need an English best friend. And sorry, Irish, German, English on both sides. I'm a civil war within my own flesh and blood. Yeah. What the hell were we just talking about besides?
We were talking about wizard fight.
Wizard fight. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm so tired.
So,
I want to work 3 jobs anymore and do this. Sorry.
Do we even think Dumbledore is in the conversation?
Yes.
With any of the others?
I think Dumbledore could beat the crap out of Tim and would fare very well against Merlin. Gandalf, I don't know because of the fact that he's a Solar, but Dumbledore has the library that the other 3 just don't fucking have. And he's got the pensive, so he can take out shit he doesn't need to free up more space for spells, in theory. By D&D rules, Dumbledore and Elminster would be the scariest wizards to ever encounter if you were an evil character. Because, I mean, they're both a force of good, but Elminster is very smart, so he has extra spells. I've never DM'd him as a character. I try to stay away from the literary characters, save Strahd, because of Ravenloft. You can't take Strahd. He's on a crusade. Yeah, that doesn't work. Are you fucking kidding me? This is great. We're gonna ransack his castle. Oh, talk about your DM backfire. Holy shit. Oh, he appears.
I've run both the original first edition version of that module and twice run the current
Castle Ravenloft is nightmare fuel. It's just it's terrible.
You're forgetting one of the best wizard fights ever put on film.
Are you going to say Merlin
versus Mad Madam Mim?
Mim,
Yes.
not Meg. No,
That was the best.
purple dragons and stuff. Madam, there won't be. And she immediately turns invisible. She's just like, you bitch. He knew. But that's fun. That's fun Disney Merlin. That's not like real... Like
That's
Arthur,
intelligent Merlin having fun. I am a germ.
I'm not disappeared, Mim. I'm very tiny. The best was when she becomes a snake, so he becomes a crab, and then she's a rhinoceros. He's like, yeah! Oh, fuck! Ouch! Oh, my hand! Oh, no! Just their whole banter. She's a great character and highly underrated for that movie, because I don't think there's a Mim. I don't think there's a Minerva character.
Mad
I
Madam Mim
don't
was
remember
for
ever.
that
It's Disney.
movie only.
Yeah, it's Disney fun, and that's okay. It's Disney. Disney cartoon. First 2 words were your, question
It's
and your
the
answer.
Disney version of sexual tension.
Yeah. Have you seen Hercules? Yeah. Hera, not Hades. Wrong H. There's 3 H's in that world, and only 2 of them have a problem. And it's Hera having a problem with Hercules, not the other way around. Well, after he kills his family, he hates her, but... the 12 labors are way... Disney should have steered clear of Greek mythos like fucking kryptonite, because it's just
pornography.
Even if you cleaned it up, it's a nest of hornets. It's a nest of hornets. We'll do Bellatheron. Okay, he dies when he hits the earth, right? When he's riding Pegasus, it's the end of the story, because you're not supposed to steal the sacred horse with wings. Go figure. You want to do Icarus? Okay, that's fun. He dies at the end. tell the story of Medusa.
They call them Greek tragedies for a reason.
Yeah, let's tell the story of a devout, gorgeous, the most beautiful woman on the fucking earth, who's a devout worshiper of Aphrodite, and one day Poseidon, Aphrodite doesn't stop him. She doesn't try to stop him. She doesn't intervene. She doesn't, like, you know, turn mice into women to distract him. Poseidon lets Aphrodite lets Poseidon brutally rape Medusa in her own temple, and for that act, Aphrodite punishes Medusa and makes her one of the Gorgon sisters. I can't think of a more tragic female story probably generated by females, because it can't just sting. It has to sting and leave 50 welts. I mean, and then for that, Medusa is hunted for her head and her blood through all of the rest of the myths. The Minotaur in the maze, that's not a happy story. King Midas, that's not a happy story. I mean, we could sit here for hours. Perseus.
But they are, think about it though, you cannot bypass those if you intend to tell the tale of the history of humankind. You can clean them up based upon who you are. So Disney, of course, had to clean them up because you have to present them in a child-friendly manner.
Yeah,
but these are also the basis of every tale that comes after them. These are the underpinnings of every story that ever is generated as we go forward. So it's an interesting. I have to give credit where credit is due. It's very interesting how they worked to make them clean. It's like fractured fairy tales that we grew up with watching. You know, on Saturday morning you would have fractured fairy tales.
I miss those.
You had to clean those up to make them palatable. To make them palatable to the parents of the children who are going to be watching them.
Yeah.
Because, like you both just mentioned, we look at that, and if somebody says, "Yeah, I'm going to show your 6-year-old all of the trials of Hercules," no, you're not.
No, you are not. The first 6 are okay. Those others, are you out of your mind? Yeah.
And then it's like, well, no, let me show you how it is. See, it's done this way. And we allude to things, but only in an adult manner, so the children go, "What did he say?"
Yeah. And, you know, the Irish are no better. Have you read Red Branch? It's not a happy story. Shetenta becomes Cuchulainn. It's not a happy story. He's happy with the fact that he's going to live a glorious, blood-filled, short lifetime. And he joins the Red Branch. Have you guys... Okay, you? Okay, Paul pushed this book on both of you, huh? And me. And it's a good book. It really is. But it's his story. Where when... long ago, before King Arthur, the gods walked the earth. And I think it's his Louis... There's a foot race of women. And in the middle of the foot race, a god appears and he has his way with one of these women. And the father is both honored and ashamed, and the god just disappears. And then 9 months later, a small baby with crystal blue eyes and black hair? Because his dad is a super ginger. He's like a super ginger, like freckles beyond that. Lucky bastard. Give my left testicle to be a super ginger. That's important to me. Anyway, that the baby is born, Shetenta, and dad kind of disappears and is left with mom. Mom's kind of in a catatonic state. Am I right so far? Please correct me if I'm wrong. It's been since 93 since I've read this book. I don't have it anymore. I gave it back to Paul in 94. So, all the kid knows is his father went to join the Red Branch. Now, the Red Branch is the Green Beret, the Black Beret, the Forward Recon, the Navy SEAL. They're the shit. They're the warriors of Ulster in the north. And the Ulster goes back to, there's a contest for the island, and whoever puts their hand on the shore first is the king of Ireland. And Ulster is one team, and there's a bunch of other teams, and Ulster and the other. There's Ulster and like 4 other teams that are almost on the shore, and Ulster is about to lose. So he chops his left hand off, bandages it, and throws it, because he's right-handed, onto the shore, and he wins. So the bloody hand of Ulster becomes the symbol of the elite of Ireland.
The Red Branch.
The Red Branch, eventually. So all of that, because they're his elite warriors, because it's not that he's less of a man, but he's king. You're supposed to play strategy, not be on the front line. I mean, you're supposed to be there, near the front line, but not on the front line, obviously, because, well, if you get killed, that's bad, isn't it? So, Ulster, Lennet, Ireland is divided up into... Oh, shame on me. I know this. But it's late, and I'm on my second double, and, well, not that... Marijuana affects the memory. No, anyway. Bing. Connacht, Lennet, Munster, Ulster. Thank you, brain. It's divided up into 4 sections. They war with one another. They fought it from the Flamori, which are these, like, half-giant mutants that kind of... Well, the way it goes from an anthropology standpoint, the Celts, which are basically the Celts and the Britons, the Pictish, all of your old clans. There's more than I named. Look it up. But what is it? Before the polar ice caps melted, it was all one land, and then after the ice caps melted, people got isolated, so they became Iceland, Greenland, Ireland, Scotland, England, Wales. They became France. They became, because just recently, like 5-10 years ago, we had a little bit of, oh, it's global warming, it's climate change. Dumbass, the Earth is alive. It goes through hot and cold periods. Watch George Carlin. You'll be fine. We're a surface nuisance. We're not destroying the Earth. It really doesn't give a shit about us, and it could eliminate us immediately if it really wanted to. In the meantime, we're kind of amusing to have around. Mother Nature and Father Time hate us. We're just a sick game to them if we're not an alien simulation. Like and subscribe for more positive daily affirmations. So, we're all Teutonics and the ancient, like, Franks that have come in that area before, that. If and we're all just varying deviations of that because we all kind of look the same. We're all from the deep forest. We're all from these Neanderthal Homo sapien hybrids that have, was it Devonian man and the one other one, they don't know what the hell it is, besides Cro-Magnon and Heidelbergensis, and like, weren't there 2 others? Forgive me, I don't have a degree. This is all just my own research. So that's my new theory, that we're varying deviations of the same ancient clans long ago of the Australopithecines that climbed down from the trees and out of the caves, and when the dinosaurs died off and it was unsafe to be in certain areas because of saber-toothed cat and cave bear, and dude, raccoons 40,000 years ago were a force to be reckoned with. Now we just attack them with a broom and call it a day. So sorry, that was a lot.
Raccoons are getting smarter. There, a lot of scientists are saying that raccoons are probably going to be the next species domesticated by man.
And coatis. They're they're the cousins of raccoons. They're extremely intelligent. They're Arizona raccoons. They're cute. And they love humans. So,
They love humans and they love to throw things at dogs.
Pretty much. I don't know. On the other hand, I want Jim to join the game if there's room, but, I'm with you where it's like, dude, you step up. We all did. Like I'm telling people, it's killing me that I'm missing them playing. I know you guys didn't play, but the customers don't have to know that. Not the ones. For those that I've been begging people to subscribe. We've got 33 subscribers. Oh God, you don't know how hard it is, because when you don't have a lot of subscribers, it's hard to get people to watch you. When you have a lot of subscribers, well, you're in the algorithm. You're being pushed around, so it's not that
Bill
hard.
Bill likes to play off of the interaction with Isabel. Let's all be honest. He likes being there with the crazed 12-year-old who is beyond herself.
Honestly,
because she now has 2 paladins.
No. She is having a blast with it. Can I be honest? I really enjoy that, because being around Isabel is like being around Willow, which she came into the shop. She and Dad Chip came in and visited me, and they were going to come back, and so was it. But it was so busy out there. They probably came in, and I was like 30 people deep and doing my shtick, because it's like, and Michael Cox and Donovan Rose and Daryl Schaefer and Morgan Ellig, and these are like friends that I've had since Scarizona, and Morgan I've known since high school. But I didn't have time to talk to you. I don't have time to talk out. I'm technically working. Like all the people are like, hey, Rum. I'm like, it's an Arizona law. I don't touch the stuff while I'm on the clock. That's for after work when I'm home. Or like 9 on. Well, even then, I don't have time to. It's been 3 jobs. Tonight is the only night I'm drinking because I don't have to go to work tonight. And I'm not even going to drink that much because I have to work tomorrow morning. So I'm going to follow Jingo's example.
I think it's...
My liver had to retire for health reasons.
Yeah. I think the thing we love about watching all of the kids, all of these young kids, I love watching Isabel because it's seeing, it's remembering, it's going back and pulling from our own memories and say, I remember when I first had that gleam in my eye, when I had that first attraction to this, when I got that first big swell in my chest. Oh my God.
Honestly, I'm Zach is my favorite player because he's the newest, and we get to go, okay, Hulk smash. And that you can tell at the table he's enjoying that. He's enjoying the fact that he's a big brainless instrument of our destruction, and we're like, go destroy, and he's learning the game in the process, which is, was it Dragon? Go ahead.
He has the best character to learn from as a new player. It's the best character to learn from is a barbarian. If you can be the tank, because you don't have to worry about the spells, you don't have to worry about any of the rest of that stuff.
Thieves Guild and Society, and which
I have the hammers and swords, and I can beat the hell out of anything I want. Isabel is actually playing probably the second hardest for a brand new player.
Yeah.
Paladin, and she's got some magic, and she's got the skill sets, and she's got to know all of these things.
The Paladin is one of the hardest characters to play.
The hardest,
but she took to it like a dolphin going to the open ocean. She's just like, oh, I love this.
Let us have a council debate now. I'm going to go one further. Hardest characters to play in descending order. Number 1, hardest to play, Assassin. Number 2, hardest to play, Thief. Number 3, hardest to play, Cavalier. Number 4, hardest to play, Cleric. Number 5, hardest to play, Wizard.
I have a different list.
Please.
I think the hardest to play are the spellcasters.
You gotta write that.
And especially if let's go with Castles and Crusades specifically. Your wizard is difficult, but I wouldn't put it at the top. I would put Druid at the top because they have a very specialized set of spells.
Damn it.
And some very odd powers. So the Druid would be the most difficult to get into. on a role-playing aspect and a technical aspect. Wizard would be next, so mostly because if you're playing a wizard and you get thrown into a game where you're not a beginning character, you're going to have a lot of options.
Yeah,
And so the
I would agree.
spellcasters are the most. I would make the rogue, one of the easier ones. The assassin, depending on which version of the assassin you're talking about, the AD&D or the Castles and Crusades version, because
What are you
the
saying for
AD&D
four?
assassin, was very difficult to deal with.
Yeah, the skills make them more difficult because you have to remember the skill sets. But I agree with you, Rob, that the spellcasters become the most difficult because, and especially as you grow in your experience, in your levels, because now you have that much more that you have to understand. Hopefully you have learned as you've gone along so you can better balance what you do and don't have. What are your constraints? What are your requirements? But yeah, any of the characters that are relying solely upon physical attributes, I think, are easier than those that have to play the spell casting, because not only do you have to be conscious of your squishiness as a spellcaster, and depending upon the level of your character, depending on what you're playing, you may not be allowed much as far as physical combat. You have to rely exclusively upon your ability to stay out of direct contact and yet use your spell casting and know your spells and know your secondary impacts. So, if we're in a 10 by 10 room and we've got 5 orcs and all of my players are engaged in, one-on-one combat, no fireball.
Yeah.
I don't want to take out my own people. Paying attention to that stuff.
No, you're exactly right. Because ingredients. You have to know when you're out of bat shit or sulfur and this and that.
I don't play those things real heavy. I assume that if you're a spellcaster, you're smart enough to have gone around and gathered up all of the things that don't have a price tag attached to them.
Okay.
If it says 100 gold piece gem, you need to come up with 100 gold piece gem. I'm not going to hand wave that.
Yeah.
But if you need bat guano and a bit of eyelash, or a bit of amber and a bit of dog fur for a lightning bolt, those are things that are not hard to obtain in any town or city.
Your list was wizard.
I would put druid at the top.
Oh, druid.
Simply because it's a very complicated character to play, role playing and mechanic wise.
And there's more detail to the druid. I mean, you can. The druid is not, and you had spoken to it earlier, Bill, when you talked about the ability in the wizard's battle. Perhaps a druid's not going to be as effective potentially in a cityscape as they would be in a natural setting, and understanding what limitations, what additional what additional things are needed. I would say that the druid must be much more aware of their surroundings, where they're at, what things go with them, and understanding that to do something, I will need more than just to recite a particular spell. I'm going to need whatever the other items are that I have to have with me.
And that's one of the challenge of all the spellcasters, is having to pre-pick your spells based on what you think you might need.
Yeah.
And hoping that the situation comes up.
You're right, because with druid, you're basically relying on the DM's dice roll of, I hope that type of animal is in this area. If I need to summon them, if I need to do, if I need to send a message, if I need to, But Rob, Jingo, go ahead and give me your list real quick.
My next on the list would be wizard/illusionist, because again, overwhelming options, very little hit points, especially at first level. Back in the old school D&D days, people didn't want to play a wizard because there was a very good chance your wizard was going home in a box in the first adventure. Very good chance. And so you'd end up, people would try a wizard, but, if you managed to get the wizard to 3rd level to where you could start getting 2nd level spells, invisibility. And back in the day, first edition D&D, invisibility lasted until I make you invisible. You're invisible until you do something that makes it break. So
somebody
if you
bumps into you.
until you bump into somebody. That somebody bumping into you doesn't trigger it. So if you lived a calm and peaceful life, you could be invisible the rest of your life from that spell. Right below the wizard illusionist, I would put the paladin. And mostly for roleplay, because you only, maybe in 5th edition D&D, where paladins are holy warriors in the service of a particular god and may or may not have an oath that makes them lawful good.
Yeah. Paladin's tough because you have to adhere to the lawful good lifestyle.
You have to adhere to you have to adhere to the lawful good lifestyle, and you can't tolerate anybody else. It specifically says you cannot consort with evil. Yeah. If there's an evil member of your party, you have to run them off.
I wanted to get
the
this.
Cleric was another one I put in that same
hold
realm.
On, we'll get to your list in a second.
Get stuck. Yeah.
I would put Cleric.
Sorry, Rob.
After
number 4,
Paladin, after Paladins, I would put Clerics.
Okay.
Again, because spellcasters are inherently a little bit more complicated, but a cleric can also step up and tank. And generally,
cleric can throw down.
There's the selection of spells that they have to choose from is more utilitarian than the wizard. You don't get a lot of blast and bang out of the wizard because you get to carry a big stick and wear a metal plate on your chest.
Number 5.
After that, I would lump everything else, all the other fighter types, which is including barbarian, your monk, your knight, your ranger, your fighter.
I can't type all of that. Just pick one, just like monk,
everything
ranger,
else.
Thief, assassin, thief, acrobat. What do you want to?
The next after that would probably be the thief.
Yeah, you don't. Yeah.
And then after that, everything else kind of groups together.
Okay. Well, I wanted to get each one of your lists, and then we're going to go back to. Okay. Rob the Blacksmith, go. Number 1 hardest class.
I follow Jingo with the list, with the exception, I think I would switch the cleric and the paladin.
Okay, so hold on.
That's just a personal feeling from playing the characters.
So hold on. Druid, wizard, illusionist.
He was druid, wizard, illusionist.
I'm just going to abbreviate.
Yeah. And then I think it would be the cleric and the paladin.
He said paladin 3rd, but you think cleric.
I think cleric and paladin.
Cleric's going to be high on the list because you have to deal with the church.
Exactly.
Crap.
You're constrained. I think you're depending on the cleric you play, whoever your god is that you're representing. I think the cleric can be more of a constriction than the paladin. Okay. Because the paladin is lawful good. I'm going to do good, period, good. Yeah. This is what I'm going to do. The cleric is, I have to be this way because my God says it's appropriate, but the cleric could also make deviations because the religion says, well, you're not allowed to smite everybody except for this asshole because he looks like this and he's carrying that. Oh, okay. So you got to pay attention to some of that if you're getting into that depth.
Even though he's following all the rules, you didn't detect evil, and he's evil, lawful evil. So
yeah. So you have to smite him
because he's a good person in society, but he's actually evil, or is it good because you outed him and eliminated him?
So that makes it difficult. Then for me,
the scales,
and I'm not as familiar with the monk, but number 5, I would think the monk might be a little more difficult if there are constraints from the monk's order.
Okay.
that
Not
would drive
particularly. I
So-
believe there are alignment restrictions on the monk. They have to be lawful.
Okay.
You know, you got to have that inner calm. And they are basically a variation on a fighter. They get a lot of hit points. They don't get a lot of armor class at low level, but it goes up without them ever having to wear armor. They also
Right, and that-
can move incredibly
Yeah.
fast.
Dude, by level 15, they are just
Yeah.
almost Bruce Lee.
They
and
can
by
move
18,
incredibly
they're
fast.
Bruce Lee.
They do as much damage with their hands as you would with a sword,
Yep.
and can start getting multiple attacks at around 5th or 6th level. In addition, at 6th level, the monk gets this thing called the stunning strike, which basically he hits somebody. If they fail their saving throw, they're basically done.
me.
They can't do anything.
The day
So-
mock, the death touch.
Yeah, and that's why I think I would list the monk a little higher, because at lower level, you may be aware of these things. You have to be aware of what your limits are, and as you go forward, you're going to develop these other skill sets, these other abilities. But I think that in my mind, I'm equating a monk to the quality of an assassin with a law set, with a rule set that comes with it. An assassin can operate under any of the alignments, and they're going to be out doing what they do. The hope is that their skill sets are enough that they can leverage those functions. So, you know, are your dice rolls going to fit with your skill set? I think is the best.
One of
the monk is a little bit more, I think, more mindful.
I believe assassins, at least in AD&D, had a requirement to be evil, because taking money to kill people is not,
it's not
good.
a good one. Also, there's not enough emphasis on D&D's explanation in the character class, in the player's handbook and in the other the boxes and stuff like that. Thieves don't walk around advertising that they're thieves. Thieves and assassins have to pretend they're fighters in society.
Or merchants.
Assassins have to pretend they're something
Yeah.
else. Thieves don't necessarily have to, because not everybody is the big, strong, burly type as a fighter. If we're applying a little bit of real world, if you're playing a fighter and you don't have the strength to be wearing plate mail, you're wearing leather armor. If you don't have the strength to be wielding a long sword, you're using a short sword. All of a sudden, you look like you could be a thief. So it's, just by what he wears.
Because I think of the thieves and the assassins as outwardly presenting more like a rogue. They're showing up. Hi, I'm here. You see me. You don't really know too much about me, but you recognize that perhaps I'm walking on two lines, walking with one foot on either side. Unless I'm a really good assassin or thief, where now I'm presenting as the bard. Hi, no, I'm really a bard, but I can't sing very well. But when you're not paying attention, I'm going to poison your drink or steal from you.
Usually it was easier for a thief at low levels before 2nd edition and 2nd edition to just pretend you're a fighter. Because they're probably going to want to kill you in this town we just got to if they know that you're a thief.
The time 2nd edition came around, the assassin was gone.
Maybe in campaigns you were running.
No, I'm pretty sure that was something that didn't make the transition from 1st to 2nd. But I could be wrong.
Well, okay. I mean,
no, Unearthed Arcana is 1st edition.
The best thing that 2nd edition opened up to, and I believe it started in Dragon Magazine, and I was trying to ask you guys earlier. That came out bad. I was trying to ask you guys earlier. That's not how I wanted that to sound. Was it Dragon Magazine or Dungeon Magazine that was always like, if you're playing a new game, repeat after me. I want to play a fighter character. Because that became like in the lexicon of Dungeons and Dragons. You had people that, I've never played. Play a fighter, dude. You don't need to know shit. You just need to show up and Fight. You don't need to know politics. You don't need to know church crap. You don't need to know which gods hate which gods and which blah, 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 blah. Just fight. When they go, kill him, you know exactly what your job is. Or you've been listening to the other players talk for hours, and all of a sudden they're like, roll for initiative, and you're like, isn't that before? Yeah, you need to roll your dice, and here's what we want you to do. And there's a certain beauty in that mechanic. Forgive me if I'm wrong. Go.
No, not at all. I was just looking. No, the assassin was not a second edition character class until
by law, no.
Well, no, you could play something that was, acted as the assassin, but the character class came about later from a supplement book.
Gotcha. The best thing ever is, okay, back in the day, in the late 80s and the 90s, when you talk to people playing D&D, they were running the modules, and there was nothing wrong with that. And then occasionally you met a very creative DM that improved on the modules and added to them or strung them together or created new towns or new areas. Or when the Fafard and the Grey Mouser thing came out, I was using the Lankmere map for fucking everything, because here's a pre-generated city before, I couldn't afford the box set for all that other stuff because I was, So, with that being said, it was easier to make up more side stories on the fly the more the game expanded in its materials availability. Is that there were more books, there were more modules, where you didn't hear the word homebrew is new. We didn't say that in the 80s.
The word is new.
The word
homebrewing goes back to the beginning, but the word is new.
Thank you. That's exactly the point.
We used to just call it gaming.
We used to call it, we were playing the modules, but then my DM came up with an idea, and oh my God. And then you sat there for 20 minutes and listened to one of the players talk about, probably in kind to a campaign that you came up with, where you followed the map for a while, and then all of a sudden the map wasn't really necessary anymore, and you started just creating, Greyhawk before Forgotten Realms came, and then Forgotten Realms when Forgotten Realms came.
I was all in on the Forgotten Realms when it came. I was never vibed on Greyhawk big. And, I was always one of those game masters all the way back into the 80s that would blaze my own path. I never really ran modules.
Thank you for validating all my soapbox there, because you're right. Greyhawk is like the Greek mythos we were just talking about. It's not really connected. It's supposed to be like kind of a parallel Earth, because you have the Egyptian gods and the Greek gods and the Norse gods and the Hawaiian gods.
Never really had the opportunity to play in Greyhawk.
Yeah.
And whereas Ed Greenwood, when he made the Forgotten Realms, took a page out of Robert E. Howard's book, and in that, rather than recreate these historical eras and societies, and he would create allegories for them. We have the Turmishmen, who are kind of like the Turks, or you go down to Kalimshan, which is kind of like got a Persian flavor to it, or Waterdeep, which is definitely patterned after London, or Baldur's Gate, which is
rural France, Spain, maybe. It's one of those border
Spain.
Towns on the coast.
Yes, it's another port. It's another port town. Maybe France, maybe Paris, because Paris is on a river like Baldur's Gate is.
Yeah.
But You know, all
sorry,
of these
more
were
so, yes.
all of these, you know, were kind of allegories for, you know, real world places, but not. And
Yeah.
you know, Ed Greenwood, you know, just had a really good depth to his writing. The first second edition D&D campaign I ran took place in the Moonshay Islands, and I'm still in love with that whole place.
That's a cool place
I
to
could
take
run.
players.
I could run an entire campaign
Oh, please.
and never leave those islands.
Okay.
Maybe we'll. I haven't decided. Once we're done with the Pharaoh stuff, where we're going to go next.
I want to play
Whether
that. Well, dude, you keep teasing
you want to play
me.
Expedition to the Barrier Peaks.
Oh, God, no, I do not. No, you were teasing me with Deadlands and talking about Deadlands because I've seen the books. I've looked through the books, but never played.
Yes,
But
Deadlands, you know, if I do Savage Worlds, the first property I choose is probably not going to be Deadlands, if only because we have a 12-year-old child playing in the game.
Okay.
And dealing with
prostitutes
somebody opened a gate to hell.
That's
and
not,
Deadlands is a pretty adult-themed game world.
Good call. Well,
you know,
I mean, I first off, I agree with you. Let's finish the Pharaoh. We're only on part 2.
But let me sell you on there are a couple of other, and Savage Worlds calls them plot point campaigns, where they line out the major points of a campaign and expect you to build your own campaign around it. It's kind of genius.
Fair enough.
I have this world called the Slipstream, which is basically a micro universe that exists inside a black hole that is essentially Buck Rogers / Flash Gordon cheesy pulp science fiction.
That sounds
complete
awesome.
with rocket ships that have, you know, doors with doorknobs, and you can go out into space and walk on the outside of your ship with your magnetic boots. It's completely schlocky pre-space age science fiction. The other world is called 50 Fathoms, and it is a fantasy pirate world where this king of this major kingdom in this ocean world took his army and went and slew these 3 hags. As the last hag died, she cursed that the world would drown under 50 fathoms of water, and basically opened a gate to Earth. And the world is slowly drowning as the water rises. And yes.
Okay, that sounds cool.
And
but
you
wait, hold on.
It's a fantasy game. Yeah. So it's fantasy pirates. It's got its own races, but the water is coming from Earth at different time periods. So it's an opportunity for you to play a historical nautical figure. If you wanted to be John Paul Jones, or, you know.
Hell yeah. I don't want to be Blackbeard, though.
You don't want to be. You
Edward
could be
Teach.
Bartholomew Roberts.
Hell
the
yeah.
Red Pirate.
Black Bart. Wait. The Savage Worlds, that's the supervillains that have to save the world. That's also the one I want to play. That is the
same one, yes.
Okay, that one I'm still thinking about that, because it's like, oh my God, which do I want to be, super powerful or super ridiculous? Both have so many possibilities. I can't. Oh, anyway. So, I'm sad that you guys didn't play, especially because I've been building up our team and trying to get viewers. Thank you, those recent viewers and all the people I talked to at the Renaissance Festival. And damn it, these guys told me they have a podcast and they play D&D, and one of their members that I talked to is an editor, because it's like, we do it all raw because none of us. Paul's the only one knew how to do video editing, and well, he's no longer alive.
I can do it, but I'm not real good at it.
Well, I don't want to sign you up for that, since you work 40 hours a week and you're doing this and you're doing that, and here I am pestering you to start a Starfinder game, and now we're talking about supervillains, and Don't you do enough?
Sometimes I do too much, but
My point exactly.
I don't know how to stop.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sorry that Chris is going through everything he's going through right now.
I'm
and
sorry I
everybody
missed
else.
last week. I had just.
We're
I
feeling well.
actually think it ended up being allergies. I am like deathly allergic to this Palo Verde tree, and it was sporing all over the place last week to the point where I was hacking and coughing and
Whoa.
running a fever, and my nose wouldn't stop running, and I'm still bringing up crud from that damn tree.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not allergic to anything, so I can't really relate to that, but I know it's the body going, we're under attack, even though they're
And
You're not.
and that tree gets severe enough that it mimics flu symptoms, and so I really wasn't sure if I had the flu or not, and I didn't want
excuse
to contaminate everybody.
me. It makes perfect sense because you'll get Chris, Ed, Rob, Zach, Izzy, your two kids, what's his name? Ed, Clay, and Rob's friend. Shit! Just friended
Gary?
him. Gary! Thank you. Damn it, me. Not remembering Gary's.
Yeah, we're all mostly a bunch of old people
Like and
with a
subscribe.
few young people.
It's weird after being the youngest so long to now be the oldest at work and at groups and at other work. Luckily, Frenchie's older than me out at fair.
I had one of our crew chiefs come through the other day, and we were talking, and he made well, when you get to my age, you'll understand. And I was like, Jay, how old are you? 46. It's like, bruh, I turned 60 this year. What?
Yeah.
No, there's no way you're that old. And here's my driver's license.
I don't do that anymore. I practically shake your hand. Well done. You fooled me. If this was one of those carny guess your age things, I would have been giving you, what is it, $20 or whatever? Holy shit. That happened to me at Rob Zombie's Great American Nightmare when we worked with Joe. And he had a bunch of kids, and he was married to, I think her name was Michelle. She's also, sorry, she's probably watching. This is another friend from 2014, 12 years ago, and my brain is mush. So, and one day I'm like, are you all right? And he's like, yeah, I'm doing okay. And I said, luckily you've got your youth. And he laughed at me, and I'm like, uh-oh, what? And he goes, I'm 65. You have 8 kids, and you're married to her. I thought you were maybe 40. And he laughed at me. I'm like, oh, it's you Asians, you really hide your age. And he started busting up laughing. He's like, don't worry, you're not the first. Everybody thinks I'm like, yeah, you and my dad. They always went, yeah, you're 49. Actually, he's 62. Oh, what, really? He's just very virile. And even I get that.
I don't look my age.
No, you and I and Rob, we do not look our age. Where it's like, people are like, oh, well, luckily you're only you're only 43. I'm like, no, I'm 53. I got a lot more mileage on. And
I have a blubbery baby face when I shave. And
that helps.
And I'm starting to get the gray at the temples here, which I actually think is kind of a cool little effect.
It feels cool. But that's, I'm sorry for saying it again, but I have said it before in other episodes. Paul was the one when I was in my early 30s that started saying, as soon as you start going gray, it's like an invisibility cloak. And the grayer you become, the more you become invisible to not only the younger women, but the women your age and society. And at first, when I was in my...
I don't necessarily agree with that.
I agree with it 100% now after going through it for the last 10 years. So, go ahead.
I don't know. Maybe you're not noticing that people notice you, but you know,
Yeah.
I'm willing to bet people, you know.
I don't know.
I mean, I'm nothing to look at, and you know, I still catch people giving me a second look every now and then.
No,
you know,
no,
makes you feel good.
I was telling, he's not here. He's at work right now. Oh, Mr. Steele. I was telling Clay yesterday, or no, yeah, Sunday night when I got home from fair. There's periods of my life when women are interested in me, and then there's now where the aphrodisiac of youth is gone. I hit on 4 completely different women this weekend and got basically laughed at all 4 times. One woman walked away from me. One woman told me, "You have a lovely mind," and walked away from me. The other 2, which were not that much older, but were older than I, they both laughed at me like I was a clown. So instead of embarrassment, I just played it up. So that's been happening
but you
for
were
the
in
last...
character, though, in a costume. And so
In the past, that's usually when I do very well. Sorry, Rob.
times have changed.
Body has changed. Time has time. So that was my social experiment for the weekend. Other than that, I don't get hit on anymore. That hasn't happened since my early 30s, I would say. Sorry.
Yeah,
Excuse me.
I don't get hit on either. Not really, no.
No. Nope. It's different for women than it is for men. And I'm not saying that as... I'm saying that as I've been watching for the last 25 years now, and being a keen student of psychology and almost going into the field as a youth, psychology fascinates me because from hearing at a very young age from an older relative, my mind was playing tricks on me. I haven't heard anything more terrifying in all my life. And then actually studying psychology, we should be aware of psychology. So the interesting phenomenon is men get to a certain age, unless you want to start doing hair dye and wrinkle cream and hitting the gym for an exorbitant amount of hours, you just age. And there's nothing wrong with that, but in society, you're competing with all of the decades that, you know, are available now to these women, with the veil falling down from the internet and the whole, oh, you know, a man who's good with kids and has a pretty good job and a sense of humor, that's gone, baby. 666, 6 feet tall, 6-pack abs, 6-figure income. So women have basically stated that if you're below a certain level, you're invisible. Add age to that, well, I didn't choose to be MGTOW. I chose to just do my own thing and be in my own hobbies and start a couple podcasts, keep playing video games, board games, learn a whole bunch of stuff. It wasn't, you know, sorry. Go ahead. Rob's back. Go ahead, Jingo.
No, something was happening with his mic that was giving me feedback, and it was making my ears hurt.
Me too, but I figured it was just dogs.
I apologize. I heard Fenner speaking, so I hurried back from my bio break.
Anyways, in my chat, Martian Cat says, you know, she doesn't think it was you. It was them. Just her thought.
Wait, what?
The woman.
The
woman that you hit on. It was them.
It's also out at fair, so you just laugh it off and you keep going. That wasn't the case at all for the story. It was more of like an observation. All of life is a social experiment. I don't know whose, but I'm enjoying it too.
Yeah, we're living the dream. I don't know whose dream it is, but we're living it.
That's
Right.
great.
Like people say that to me at work all the time. I say, yeah, technically, nightmares are dreams. So yeah, living the dream.
Like and subscribe for more 100% pure barf, folks. We need it here. Stay geeky. Anyway, so guys, do you think Tim can defeat Gandalf? I kind of platformed and then segued, and neither of the two of you got to have an input. And
Ooh, I think
ADD full circle. Keep up with me. Go.
I think Tim might get the best of Gandalf in the short term, but he wouldn't put him down permanently. Tim might randomly teleport Gandalf somewhere really inconvenient. And I don't think Gandalf can teleport. That's why he had a horse.
I think Tim would also frustrate the daylights out of Gandalf with just some of his witty banter and repartee.
A grail. Yeah. A ring.
And he's liable to break out the rabbit.
Taunt you a second time.
Oh, yeah. Tim transports Gandalf into the French stronghold. I told them we already got. What the fuck is that old man doing? I don't speak French. I told them we already got one.
He would teleport Gandalf into the rabbit's cave.
Oh,
The problem is that Gandalf would befriend the rabbit, and then Tim would be in a really bad position.
oh, look, a bunny. Hello. Yeah, totally happened. Tim versus Dumbledore.
Oh, I don't know. I think Tim, just because Dumbledore would want to be all formal and, right proper wizard's duel, and Tim would do him dirty.
I think Tim would play dirty.
Oh, hell yeah, he would.
I put my money down on Dumbledore because Dumbledore's the Batman of his universe. He does his homework.
I
Unless
think it would
Tim
be a
just
knockdown dragout.
you think so?
I think it would be a knockdown dragout. I think it would run long, and potentially it would end up being a draw. I think because you've got two on the basis of just the character design. These two characters are essentially the same. I mean, they have this long experience, this knowledge. They're working in the same arcana. They're working in the same type of magic.
Okay,
so we don't have one that's elevated above the other like we do with Gandalf. Gandalf is beyond a human with magical proclivities. With Gandalf, with Dumbledore and Tim, you have two humans who have strong magical proclivities. I think that they could battle to a draw, and in the end, I agree. I think Tim would do somebody dirty, but
because Dumbledore has the encyclopedia. He's got, we don't know Tim's past or what. Like you said, he has teleport, he has blink, he's got fire, he's got pyrotechnics on multiple levels. Dumbledore has rules, but I think if he was just attacked.
Oh yeah, no, he would bring the force,
so to speak. Because Tim and Merlin, I don't know. It depends.
I would put Merlin above Tim.
Yeah.
Not that it makes him immortal, but wasn't Merlin rumored to have fairy blood?
That's a rumor.
I think he might have. And then Merlin exists in the Dumbledore canon as well. So he does exist in that canon.
That's true.
So
all of them are like,
he
Merlin's
was listed as
beard,
one of the
whole
greatest. Book. Yeah. He's one of the greatest wizards in history in that canon. So he comes back as extraordinarily powerful by the understanding of the modern wizards in that storyline.
That's a good point. I don't know. Merlin versus Dumbledore and Merlin versus Tim and Tim versus Dumbledore. It's all... I mean, well,
It's the
I'd
punky
say
doodle.
Merlin has a slight edge over the other two.
Yeah. Merlin has the old magic. And Merlin should be technically older than Tim.
now,
So,
wait,
so I
sorry,
think he would
sorry.
pull from a greater depth. He has
An
a greater
older-
pool of magic. Merlin does, yeah.
An older magic, because Tim is 900 AD, and they're at the same time period. Merlin
was
isn't in.
old when he met.
Tim is Merlin in a sense, because
Potentially.
Yes.
they don't have Merlin in.
But Merlin was old when he met Arthur. So he had lived much longer than a normal human.
Yeah.
So Merlin had the age and the wisdom
Yeah.
and all of that.
Okay, what about Elminster? Where does he fit on the scale? Because he's supposed to be right up there with Dumbledore with book knowledge, but also...
You know, the thing is that at one point...
Blessings
Elminster
by the
was,
old gods to the
but
Martian cat. Sorry.
He's been around long enough, and he is directly linked to Mystra to the point where he might actually be her avatar in some
That's the
sense.
rumor.
And that would put Elminster on the Gandalf level of power.
Yep.
He's basically the Raceland Magier of his world.
Oh, I was going to
Or
bring
what was
him...
his other name? Fizban the Fabulous or something?
Fistandentalist?
Yes, Fistandentalist.
I wasn't going to go to Raceland, or there's always people argue. Like, you know. The other,
I don't. It's a fantasy name.
It's
You
a
pronounce
fantasy
it the
name.
way you like. I pronounce it the way I like, and we're both right.
I enjoy people arguing over Drist's father's name. It's Zach Nafian. It's Zach Nafian. It's a fucking fantasy book. Pronounce it the way you want to. Both are right.
Potato, cucumber, it's all the same.
Stop fighting, nerds. Both are, But also, from the Rift Wars series that the ex Christine turned me on to, you not only have Pug, who becomes Lysander, I think you also have the guy that he chases after that is better than him, Macross the Black. This guy opened up portals on multiple worlds to bring them to the world that they're all on to save them from a god. That's like 35th level general wizard kind of shit, where you're not in one school. You don't have to worry about picking abjuration or illusionist or necromancer. You know them all, which is what I usually pick, because if you pick a school, you have to have a school you're not allowed to take because
Yeah.
But if you're a generalist, there's no off limits, but you don't get any bonuses. I'm okay with that, because eventually you're going to have so many spells you can't cast them all in one fight anyway.
If you live long enough, you have a dark tower in some faraway place.
And a
people
pile of
come by.
scrolls. Yeah.
Everybody wants to steal your stuff, and you have an undead army that hangs out. You
What's
guys
this
play
one?
Peanuts
Whoops.
on Thursdays.
Yeah. What's this one? Whoops. What's this one? I don't remember what these are. Are they blue? Yeah. Oh, don't open those. Those are all lightning. Are they red? Yeah. No, don't open those. That could be delayed blast fireball.
That's when the Punky Doodles really comes into play.
Yeah. Because of all of the literary wizards, as far as scope, I have to say that Raymond Feist... Okay, wait. Because Belgarath from the Eddings series... The problem is that the magic in the Eddings world is basically psychometry. It's Dr. Manhattan level magic, because you summon the will, you say the word, and that thing happens. So you're basically changing the molecules of things around you to create a new item or a new state of being or a new weather system or a new... Because there's one part where Darian sets a dude on fire and they're like, what are you doing? And then he like burns the guy to ashes because he... Well, I don't want to... Spoiler alert. So it's a...
Spoilers don't bother me.
Oh, it's the guy who killed his parents, so he's extra mad at this guy as he was born as a slave orphan because his parents were dead. But that's the kind of... It's not like magic that we understand from D&D or Shadowrun or Pathfinder or Starfinder or... What else?
It's raw
Tunnels and
elemental
Trolls.
manipulation.
Yeah, it's psychometry.
Like
in a
Scarlet
sense.
Witch level magic.
Bingo. So the Belgaria and the Malorian is different because they've got this magic that there's one point in the story, and I think I might have told this story before, but it was one of the first stories that Jeff Marsden told me before I had even read any of the books. They get to Arendia, and that's kind of like King Arthur's England, where one place in Vomembre there's a gold palace, but then several hills over the peasants are boiling grass and roots just to survive. There's no food. All of the animals belong to the royalty, to the landed gentry. So there's one guy called Mandaralan, and he's basically Galahad. He's basically the uncorruptible, perfect knight. He's unbeatable in the tilt yard in jousting. For those that don't know what a tilt yard, it's basically jousting. And Mandaralan is your Galahad, Lancelot together, only he never touches the woman he's in love with until... I'm getting way into the story. Anyway, Mandaralan tells the guards on the watchtower, this is Belgarath. And the dude's like, no fucking way. Belgarath's 7 years old. There's 7,000 years old. There's no way he's still alive. They're in a bit of a rush. Belgarath is he's really just done with being distracted. To quote Rusty Venture, how come every time I'm on my way to somewhere important, I'm waylaid by jackassery? So this guard won't open the gate. The captain of the guard on watch will not give the order to open the gate because he believes that Mandaralan is playing games, because even though it's not public, everybody knows that Mandaralan is in love with the queen or the princess who's betrothed to a nobility, so they can never be together. And Mandaralan understands this, but the lady kind of tempts him all the time, and he's like, no, he's Galahad, he's uncorruptible. Fenrir agrees. So he's like, I have Belgarath, the sorcerer, with me, and the dude up there is like, dude, yeah, right, because it's basically the equivalent of going, Jesus is in our venture. Let us in. We've got Jesus. What? No. I won't open the gate. I won't let you in. There's no way that this is the Everman. There's no way this is Belgarath. Ugh. All right, smartass. And he goes to the back of his horse, and he grabs a twig, and he says, you see this? And he goes over to the next to the gate, off to the side, off the road, and he sticks it in the ground, and he starts grow, and the twig becomes a 50 or 40 foot, forgive me, it's been 30 plus years since I've read this. It becomes an apple tree. And he's like, and meanwhile, everyone is, well, besides Polgara and Garion, because they see this all the time, and several others. He's like, all right, smartass, because you think you know better. Every single day, this tree is going to have hundreds of apples on it. Your job is to gather apple, because the door opens, and the gate opens once they see that. And everybody starts to march in, but Belgarath isn't done. You're going to grab apples every day from this tree, and you're going to ride out along this road, and you're going to give these apples to all of the people, all the peasants that are starving, because you think you know so much, and you think you're so better than everybody else. So the story goes on, and you get to about book 5, and they've looped around, and they're finally back there again, preparing for the big war in book 5. And that guy happens to be around at the time when Belgarath is, it's good writing. He happens to be in the area, and he's like, you, gatekeeper, how's your apple tree? Oh my God. Oh, it's great. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to go out and give all these apples to the peasant. So he's done a character arc, and this is a changed man. But again, this isn't wizardry. That's not a spell. Could a 20th level druid do that in D&D?
Probably, yeah. You plant growth?
So that's plant growth, but it would have to be an apple twig, where in the book it states that he just picks a random twig and made it an apple tree by changing its molecular structure.
Know. Perhaps a high enough level druid could do something like that.
I hope so in my D&D hearts, but I don't remember ever doing something like that. I mean, great food, great water.
But you're right. The rules of magic of that world are kind of absolute.
Yeah. They're more... I love the book, The Belgariad the Malorian, Belgarath the Sorcerer. I struggled with Polgara the Sorceress. Karen gave it to me. One of the... Karen Rogaus... It was... Her name's different. Anyway, it's not important. But the problem is that Edding's wife is writing more of that, and she goes on and on and on about threads of wool and different types of roses and different types. There's a fantasy book. Why aren't you killing hordes of orcs? What the fuck? I don't want to. I can go learn about roses at Moon Valley Nursery or
go to the botanical gardens and get all of that I want.
So it's fascinating, but that's not why I'm reading this. Whereas
That's
opposed
not what I came for.
what I'm here for. As opposed to book 3 of Song and Ice and Fire, where the babble is on what's going on. The babble's on, the political climate, the intrigue, Tyrion's doing this, so and so's doing that. There's a reason that it became so popular, because it has the elements of all the things that you like. We have all the drama for the ladies, we have all the bloodshed for the men, and we've got all the magic and the intrigue and the story building for the others that don't give a shit about that.
I didn't make it past the first episode of the second season of the TV show Game of Thrones.
Gotcha.
Having read all the books, knowing that it was going to end up going nowhere and sorely disappointing everybody at the end.
I'd like to argue with that.
I bailed out at the beginning of the second season because I knew that it was just going to make me angry, that it was already not following the book.
The first season does pretty well. It does okay. It's very close. It's Harry Potter 1.
It is pretty
but good. I can't argue with you because you're kind of right. Like the thing they did, they killed Eddard, they killed Ned, and that was needed at the end of the book because it drives all the other characters forward, and they kept in canon with the book. But beyond that, it gets really fucking weird in the second season beyond, where you skip
Their
parts
mistake
and
was
it's
licensing an unfinished IP from George R.R. Martin.
also what. Not just that, but you also have executives and producers and we should do this. We need to add this. We need to have that. No, you fucking don't. This is a fantasy world separate of. Sorry.
Yeah, executives
iPads.
mess up so many things. It's like the movie, The Incredible Hulk, the Ang Lee one with Eric Bana. Ang Lee wanted to have his name removed from the movie by the end of it because the studios, that whole Nick Nolte molecular man nonsense at the end of that movie was because the studio executives were not going to have a superhero movie that did not have a supervillain fight in it.
Now, I've seen...
But Ang Lee wanted to make a drama, not a superhero movie. He made a drama about a superhero.
Okay, I'm torn on that Hulk movie. On one hand, Ang Lee stuck to, before the Nick Nolte thing... Hold on. Excuse me. He stuck to a lot of the traditional... Hulk is supposed to get larger as he gets angrier, which is something that, well, with Bill...
And stronger, yes.
Bill Bixby and Lou Ferrigno, you can't really do that with Hollywood. They just didn't have the technique.
Yeah, I think after a while, they abandoned the Hulk getting larger thing, too, in the comic books.
Yeah. Well, in the essence of the Hulk. So... Ang Lee kind of sticks to that, and I'm no Eric Bana fan. He's okay, but Troy and Star Trek, and but he plays a good Banner. As much as I don't like him as an actor, because Banner, like Mark Ruffalo, okay, I like Ed Norton. Huge Ed Norton fan. Fight Club, great movie. Incredible Hulk, great movie. But Edward Norton to be Bruce Banner the way he's written in the comics, you have to be a mixture of all three. You have to be a little bit more like Bill Bixby, where he's intense when he needs to be, but for the most part, he's kind of aloof. He doesn't want to get himself angry, so he removes himself from, and I hate to say it, but Bana is a good choice in this aspect. And again, not a fan of his acting, but he's right for the role. Same thing with Ruffalo. I don't give a crap about your political opinions. I don't want to hear what you have to say. You did a good job in the first event.
Don't care about any celebrities' political or social opinions.
Yeah, you shouldn't. Gene Simmons is best. Just juggle balls, act, play music. You're not in our world. You're in another world. But Ruffalo did a good job in the first Avengers movie. Bana did a great job. I really like the Incredible Hulk movie, and oh my God, anything with Tim Roth, I think he's a great bad guy. He's also a good guy. And Lie to Me and all that. But I don't want to see you as a good guy. I want to see you as a bad guy. I know you're a good guy. It's like James Spader. I know you're a good guy, like in, Stargate, but I don't want to see that. I want to see you be an asshole. Like Gary Oldman. I know you're a great good guy. Please be Drexel Spivey again. Some more. Please be Zorg. Please be Planet 51, where he's the maniacal, totalitarian military leader. We need to get rid of this human. Where you're like, he's disgusted with the whole human's existence. Dracula. Great movie. Bram Stoker's Dracula, excuse me. So, do you think Gandalf, or possibly Elminster, or, could they defeat Macross the Black, even though you guys haven't read the fight, or maybe, have you? The Rift War series by Raymond Feist?
No.
D&D campaign in the 70s gone novels. There's like 12 of them, 12 or 15 of them. It became a video game at one point on the Commodore 64. I mean, it's a great story. It's Arthur, but magic instead of sword wielding. where Pug is an orphan on the choosing day. His best friend Thomas, who's a baker's son, becomes apprentice to the knights, the warriors, and Pug is the only child who's 8 or 9 who doesn't get picked. And Culligan, who is he's like a hedge wizard. He's more like a mix between Gandalf and Radagast without the solar aspect, where he's more druidical like Merlin, where he knows the atmosphere and the surroundings and more of an alchemy. So Culligan sees that Pug's like crying on this platform stage and nobody's picked him. So he's like, I'll take the boy. I haven't had an apprentice in over 40 years. So Pug, who's an orphan anyway, and he kind of like, he stays with Thomas's family, but he's not their son. He's more of like a slave that's treated like a cousin. I mean, they don't beat the shit out of him or hit him with a shovel, but he's not their child, so he's a laborer. So he goes to, I wish Christine was here, she could give the story verbatim. I got up to book 8, and I really struggled with book 8, and then I kind of abandoned it. The Blood Prince, or I'll look it up, and I'll put it in the comments. But in the Sorcerer's Apprentice, and he goes to live with Culligan, and Culligan has, Fantis isn't a dragon, he's more of like a Great Dane with wings that has a long neck and a giant tail, and most of that part of the book is Culligan Fantis and Pug fighting over Pug's bed, because he's like a cat. Every time Pug gets up to start a fire or boil a kettle or get another book or whatever, he's an apprentice. He's basically a servant learning hedge magic. The dragon takes his bed. So he's like, oh, get out of my bed. So it's this boy fighting a scaly dog, basically, until mating season. And then Fantis flies away, and he's gone for about a month or 2, and then he comes back exhausted. And then no matter how much kicking and pushing, that dragon's 300 pounds, kid. You're not moving him if he doesn't want to be moved. Good luck. Just sleep on the floor. And that's what ends up happening. For time, because we're getting close, Pug is bad at basic magic, but when these warriors and magicians open a portal, and I'm totally giving you, their world is a bit like Europe. Everybody's fighting everybody, but when the empire comes, they can't even really defend themselves. These guys are way more advanced than them. They have real wizards. Culligan's no match. So Pug gets kidnapped. He has to work in, they're harvesting palm trees for wood, and he basically proves himself, and then they realize that he has magic talent, and then they realize that you're bad at the first and second level spells, but you have a natural proclivity to level spells 3 and up. Oh my god, you're like a duck to water, like a savant. So he becomes really powerful in the Empire, and eventually he hears about this character, Macross the Black, but it's like hearing about Belgarath on his world if you don't hang out with him. Oh, he existed a long time ago, and he saved everybody. Where is he now? He's dead, I guess. I don't know. That was thousands and thousands of years ago. So that isn't good enough for Pug. And Pug he gets everywhere in their empire, and nobody has any answers. So then he starts gating himself to the edges of the universe. And eventually he finds Macross the Black. And that's like book 7 is Macross explaining that they have one god that's kind of the devil. It mirrors the Song of Ice and Fire, where it's the stranger, this mysterious, weird god that nobody knows about. He's actually evil, and he's actually trying to wipe everybody out. And that's the reason nobody worships him and nobody's heard about him, because you don't live long enough to do those things. It's basically like the entity in Fifth Element, Mr. Shadow. Am I disturbing you? You know, it just wants to wipe out all of life. So Macross has been hiding all of the races that exist all over the universe from this entity that's like a black hole, the way he describes it. So in the essence of these 4 guys, Macross he's a god. He became he's like...
Sounds like he is.
Fistandentalist and Raceland, where you've amassed so much knowledge and power that you're beyond going on quests. You're now saving entire worlds from a devourer. That's what I've learned. I've tried to... please, in the comments below, add more fantasy. I'm always willing to learn. I want to read more. Time is the enemy.
I really need to get back to reading more. I don't spend enough time doing it anymore. There was a point in my life where it was all I did.
But I'd like to take Belden, Polgara, Belgarath, and Belgarian, and the twins, and the other 2 out of the... You can't be in this race because you're more mentalists and psionicists with psychometry than you are wizards. They don't have spells. They summon power, they say a word, and that thing that happens. And the only thing you cannot do is unmake something. That's psychometry. Nothing can be created or destroyed. You can only change. And that's their power. Well, that's psychometry. That's not magic. I love the series. I'm not bagging on it. This is where they fit in the categories. I know. Have you guys read it? I have book 5, apparently, of the first...
I will seek it out.
I have to go find it. Book 1, Pawn of Prophecy, the Belgariad. It's really small. It's like maybe 300, 200 pages. And
I think I read the first 5 books of the Bulgarian.
I'm sure you did, because it's an easy read. It's likened to The Hobbit.
And I got
fun.
into the first book of the second series and just kind of lost it.
I think there's too many voices guiding his writing in the second book and in the Elder Gods, and Eddings came up with the best formula for the Belgariad and the Malorian, and I have most of the Talmudi and the Elenium, but I haven't read those. But from everybody that's read both, they're like, it's basically the same story on another planet. So, in closing, how are you guys? We're at 7:55 Mountain Time.
Yeah, I'm right about at the end.
I've been up since 2:40. I'm exhausted. That's why I'm like...
Well, we can go ahead and fade it out a few minutes early. It's not like we're on a network and have to fill the time.
It's us. Nobody gives a shit. Plugs. Besides Body and Soul Candle. And...
Catch me at random wandering around Game On, March 13th to 15th, downtown Phoenix. I will be there. I may be running some games. I may be playing some games. I may just be wandering around looking dumb, which I'm really good at. But, find me there. Say hi.
And I will once again plug St. Mary's Food Bank. And so if you're going to be out there, if you can spend a little time, if you can put a little coin, if you can share a little food, you should do so wherever you're at, whatever food banks are in your area. Help out those who use a little bit of a hand.
I am trying to find the D&D group that I talked to this weekend. Please like and comment below. I should have told them that because they're like, whip out your phone. Like, well, for one, it's in my truck. For two, it's I can't. I'm at Friend Fair. I can whip out Frenchie's phone because that's a transaction, but not my phone to here. Bill Kelly, Hornswoggle, and they did. So thank you guys for watching. Also, in closing, for a plug, and I just learned about this. First weekend of August, Bisbee, Arizona, at the very bottom of the state, they have a pirate weekend where the whole fucking town shuts down and they do pirate stuff.
Oh, real
Let's
quick,
go.
one last thing I'm gonna throw out there. Pirate wise, over on Steam right now there is a game called Windrose. There is a demo of it for free, and it is a pirate survival game where you start off shipwrecked, you explore an island, you kill things, you craft things, you eventually get a ship, and you can go out blowing up other pirates in your ship, and it's multiplayer.
That's awesome. Please post the link later.
The demo is free on Steam. Windrose, all one word. Go try it out.
I love free. It's the best spice ever.
It's not the complete game. There's about 5 hours of gameplay that'll take you through the basics of it. It's not an easy game, which I like. Cakewalk games bore me.
But yeah,
But,
I had some bad news, and I think we talked about this before. My brain is mush right now. I don't remember. This is the last Wild Wild West Con down in Old Tucson, the first or second weekend of March. And that makes me sad. Not just because I have all those... I buy guns every time I go into Goodwill, so now I have a plethora. I probably have 70 guns that I need to sell. But then there's another tub that... And I want you guys to each pick one before I give them to Theo, but I have a tub of Paul guns. Paul made these guns. I didn't paint these. Once you see my style and you see his style, even though he taught me everything I know, you can tell the difference. And even when we worked on a gun together, you can tell what I did and what Paul did. And I want to kind of give you guys each a gun, and then spread them out among his family, because Jesus Christ, his family's huge. And they all would want a gun. I know Theo wants a gun that his uncle made. I mean, we only leave so many things behind, and the sentimental value is absolutely priceless to those who are... I absolutely love the movie Coco. If you haven't seen it yet, go watch it. It'll pull at the heartstrings, and it makes a lot of sense in the aspect of those that are gone are kept alive by those who remember them. And even if you don't remember them, you can vicariously collect the memories of those people and pass them on. I mean, most of us haven't met Davy Crockett or George Washington or Benjamin Franklin, but we know those names. I could list a lot of others, but those three.
it is the true immortality.
In closing,
And
go ahead, do the closing since I did the opening.
You go right ahead.
No. Go. You were about to do it.
Like and subscribe. This has been the Supreme Council of the Master Geeks Lodge, episode number 60. again, like and subscribe. I know there's other things I should be saying, but my mind is also mush.
I'm really tired. Like and subscribe. You could have watched anybody, but you decided to watch us. We really, really, really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Like and subscribe. I think that's it.
Yeah.
Stay
Good
geeky.
night.
That was it.
Good night, Twitch.
Good night, Twitch.
Good night.
Thank you, gentlemen. As always, a pleasure, an honor, and pleasure to serve with you, lads. Comes within, deep within inside of me. Thank you, gentlemen. Have a great night. I'm hitting the stop record or stop stream.